It's a three-way finish for the match race crown. Aussie Boardriders battle on the Cronulla break. There's a new boss at World Sailing, and much more. Now in the newsroom, here is Mia Ceran. NC Sports, plunge into the action.
Welcome back to the latest NC Sports edition. I'm Mia Ceran, and the water sports action just won't stop. There's plenty happening on the world's ocean this week, so let's get right to it with today's lineup. Canfield, Hansen and King Williams fight for the world match racing crown in Malaysia. Aussie Boardriders battle for their club's supremacy down under. Joel Parkinson explains. Henrique and Le Car win the first WSL Netanya Pro in Israel. Andy Hunt is now CEO at World Sailing. USA season kicks off with a stormy Key West race week, plus a whole lot more. Match racing is not just sailing, it's an art. And now the very best in the business are battling it out for the 2015 world title at the Monsoon Cup. It's a three-way final with Taylor Canfield, Bjorn Hansen, and 5 times defending champ Ian Williams, all in the fray. Here is Jeremy Linger with the top story.
Racing for the first time on the Far East 28R with a shortened crew of 4 will take some adapting, and that may very well become a decider. U.S. Virgin Islands skipper Canfield and the U.S. 1 team clearly fit the part and are already on the prowl, having won the qualifying session. Backed by Williams' former tactician Bill Hardesty, they are now the most dangerous obstacle for a 6th world title for the Britons. Cash prizes are at the end of the rainbow in this Monsoon Cup 2016, with a total purse of $440,000 shared among the top 8 finishers. Live streaming of the finals is now airing on WMRT.com until the 30th of January.
The World Match Racing Tour final is, of course, taking up much of the media attention these days, so let's take a brief look at what a couple of top websites are saying about this year's Monsoon Cup. Sailing Bible Scuttlebutt offers an interesting focus and underlines the recent defection of guru tactician Bill Hardesty from GAC Pindar to the US 1 team. According to the editors, this is a key move by Canfield, who stated that, "We've got his tactician, so we know all of Williams' tricks, and this week we're going to pull out some of those tricks on him." The bad boys at Sailing Anarchy are instead taking the hard stance against Malaysia and World Sailing, avoiding coverage and indirectly boycotting the Monsoon Cup. The event is mentioned only through its condemnation of the recent Malaysian discrimination case and adding one clear message: Malaysia should be censored, perhaps by being denied the right to host any future events, including the Monsoon Cup, for the next several years. NC Sports has been following the case very closely, and the newsroom has given ample space to the Israeli position in last week's edition. We'll have a special report next week with exclusive comments from World Sailing President Carlo Croce, and we're still waiting for an official response from the representatives of the Malaysian Sailing Federation. And now let's take a look at the NC Sports briefs with the top events from around the globe.
The Northern Caribbean Boardriders took home the 2016 Australian Boardriders Battle Nationals at Cronulla in New South Wales. This is the summer classic and championship final for surf clubs down under, and there's never a shortage of great champions.
The way the talent is, there's guys like Davey Cathles, Ryan Callahan, Ethan Ewing, all these amazing surfers, and it's hard to, you've got to score an 8 on just about every heat or above to win it. So, once or twice. Jacob Wilcox did it 3 times then, which was really impressive. And I think the most that's been done is Taj. A few years ago, he did 4 heat wins in a row. So to get one is pretty good for your club. Two is a real bonus.
Sydney's team battled it out with the biggest names in Australian board riding, including two-time defending champions of Club Snapper Rocks, ultimately shut out of the top 4. The spoils went instead to Point Lookout Boardriders, Merewether Surfboard Club, and North Shelley Boardriders, respectively in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spots. While the Best Performing Male Surfer award went to Ethan Ewig of Point Lookout Boardriders.
Morgan Larson has announced his return to the Extreme Sailing Series on board Oman Air for the 2016 racing season. The U.S. skipper has built an impressive pro career as tactician on 3 America's Cup campaigns, 3 World Championship wins on the Far 40s and the 505s, and capturing the 2014 Extreme 40 Series with Alinghi. Larson also took home last year's championship on the new GC32 Racing Tour, again with Swiss team Alinghi, and on the same foiling platform that will be racing on the Extreme Sailing Series starting in March for Act 1 in Muscat, Oman.
Pedro Henrique and Le Car have won the men's 1,500 and women's 1,000 WSL Pro Netanya at Kontiki Beach, Israel. Henrique won 5 heats and earned high marks on single waves for a nearly perfect final score, while Le Car went into the final with 7 points but lost no time in solidifying her victory. "20-year-old Tahiti native Mihimana Bray gave spectacular performances to emerge as the one to watch after this 2016 qualifying series opener. It's the first time the World Surf League has sanctioned a competition in Israel since the ASP, as the WSL was formerly known, staged a specialty event there back in 1983.
Andy Hunt is the new CEO for World Sailing, a winter classic in Key West, the new Nixon Super Tight Watch winner, and lots more coming up in the second part of this NC Sports edition. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. We're back in the NC Sports studio, and there's a new sheriff in town. Highly experienced and a main player at London 2012, Andy Hunt is now the man of the hour at World Sailing. A tough job already packed with several thorny issues. Here's the full story.
World Sailing has recently appointed Andy Hunt as its new CEO. The former chief executive officer of the British Olympic Association inherits a complex and less than stable international governing body. A vast number of urgent issues are on top of the agenda of the old ISAF. At the tip of the iceberg are, of course, the polluted and infectious waters of the Rio 2016 racing venue. Then there's Israel's exclusion from the Youth Worlds in Malaysia, likely to ripple across all upcoming events in Islamic countries. Not to forget the very difficult quest to reinstate Paralympic sailing, now sadly out of Tokyo 2020. that's just the short list. Hunt now replaces Peter Sowry, CEO, for the last 5 months, after himself replacing Jerome Pels, who held the post for more than 17 years.
And following up on the topic, sailing's top media man and veteran Gary Jobson recently sat down with Andy Hunt following his appointment as CEO for a 360-degree chat on World Sailing TV. Let's listen to some of the key passages.
So you were involved with London 2012 and involved around the Olympic scene. Tell me a little bit what your responsibilities and what your role were around the Olympics.
Well, extraordinary 5 years of my life, both as a CEO and Secretary General of the British Olympic Association, but I was also very fortunate to be chef de mission for Team GB for both the Vancouver Games and then the London Games, and also on the board of London 2012. So it was an amazing period of my life.
So what attracted you to come work with World Sailing?
You know, everything's about timing in life, isn't it? You know, I'd spent the last couple of years back in business, although I've had some sports responsibilities as well. But I really wanted to come back into sport as my core career. And the timing of this opportunity for me was just perfect. You know, I love the sport, and I think the opportunity for sailing and to bring all of that experience that I've had, not only in sports administration, but, you know, right across business. I've had the fortune of being involved in so many different business sectors over my career, whether it's in, you know, technology or consulting or media or digital media. I've done so many of these kind of areas, and actually, you know what, the chance now to bring that to sailing, the sport that I love, is truly a magical opportunity.
Key West Race Week is the classic season opener in the USA, bringing together Maxis, IRC and Grand Prix racing teams. But as an 8-knot breeze turned into a wet and wild storm pumping over 20 knots, it was the weather that took center stage.
Monstrous conditions swept the courses for the last day of Key West Race Week, the USA's top winter classic in Florida, and the season opener for Maxis and One Design classes racing under the IRC and ORC rules. Officials struggled to get the last regattas on the scoreboard, but most classes were turned back to port. Among top results, Hapfoth's Bellamente easily won the Maxi division with 6 wins in 9 races held. TP52 Quantum with Doug DeVos nailed the IRC1 on a tight margin, while Andrew and Linda Weiss took the IRC2 division on Christopher Dragon. In the One Designs, Peter Wagner dominated the J111s with 7 victories, while Richard Thompson came out on top in the Melgis 24 with Black Seal Crew. Italy's Carlo Alberini was a clear winner in the J70, and Team Themis, led by the USA's Tim Therion, narrowly won the CNC 30 class.
On a lighter note today, Nautical Channel is pleased to announce the second lucky winner in its Nixon Super Tight watch giveaway. Baptiste Jaillera will be taking his surf game to the next level with the tight forecast and much more all on his wrist. Congratulations, Baptiste! Remember, there's still one more chance to win, so check out Nautical Channel's social media for all the details on how to enter. And now let's take a peek at what's coming up next on the Water Sports Global Panorama with the NC Sports Calendar.
Some exciting surfing action coming up at the 2016 Volcom Pipe Pro from January 28th to February 7th at the infamous Bonsai Pipeline on the north shore of Oahu. With huge waves and killer curls, it's one of the WSL's most dangerous venues. John Florence has won the event 4 times in the past 5 editions.
The Turtle Bay Women's Pro kicks off the Stand-Up Paddle World Tour 2016 season beginning February 4 in Hawaii's Oahu. Open to all women, the event will witness seeded athletes directly accessing the main event, while newcomers will first take the challenge in the trials session, with the 4 top spots earning the pass to the finals on the shores of Colima Point.
More than 780 athletes will take part in the 2016 Sailing World Cup Miami in Biscayne Bay from January 25th to 30th. The high-stakes event is an important stop on the road to Rio for 2016 Olympic and Paralympic competitors looking for a last-minute ticket. The winners of each event will also qualify for the Sailing World Cup final in Abu Dhabi from October 27th to November 1st.
Our time is up for today, but we'll be back with some major stories, including an update on the kite wars and a word from World Sailing on the Malaysia versus Israel discrimination case. I'm Mia Ceran, and I'll be seeing you again next week. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.